ready to talk about Harry Potter. It comes as a surprise to no one that I love Harry Potter. An extreme amount. Probably bordering on unhealthy, but I don't care. So to celebrate all of the Potterness within me, today we are going to be ranking Harry Potter characters. So we're starting with the best of the best, which is the God tier. If a character makes it in there, they're pretty damn special. Then we go to the not quite God tier, where they're still pretty great, they just haven't quite made that cut. Then we go to great, then average, then meh, where we could probably live without them. And from there we go to bad, and from bad we go to death, where if we could, we would come up with the best, most splendid death for this character because they so utterly deserve it. So we've got a good mix of characters. Let's go. Argus Filch. Okay. Let's be honest here. If Argus Filch was not a squib, he would have become a Death Eater. No question about it. He would have. He is that level of evil. So I'm gonna stick him in the bad category. Number 2, Ginny Weasley. Movie Ginny and book Ginny are two different things. Movie Ginny was boring. She was bland. She just gave very little, and I think it's such a shame. She was really done dirty in the movies. I love the movies, but of course there were things that made me go, hang on, no, I don't love this. And Ginny, unfortunately, was one of them. So movie Ginny goes into the meh category for me, and book Ginny goes into the great category for me. Number 3! Who are we talking to? Ah! Seamus Finnigan! I love little Seamus. He's adorable. Good old Seamus Finnigan. I love me a little pyromaniac. A pyromaniac with a really good soul. He's the kind of character who you kind of want to wrap in a blanket and put by a fire and give a cup of hot cocoa, but don't put him too close to the fire because things will explode. I'm putting him in the great category. I love Seamus. He's wonderful. Dun, 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 dun. Oh. Percy Weasley. The famously hated member of the Weasley family. I love the Weasley family, but this guy, if I could trade his life for Fred's, I would. Percy Weasley goes very happily into the meh category. I could most certainly live without him. Ooh, Remus Lupin, our favorite werewolf. I feel so bad for Remus. He had such a terrible life after what happened to Lily and James and then losing Sirius. Thinking that the last person he had left had killed his best friends was obviously an incredibly horrifying thing to go through. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, when he arrives at the castle, he's malnourished, he's wearing rags, and Dumbledore was trying to offer him some kind of helping hand to get him back on his feet. And you get to see that throughout the book as he comes back to life, really. And then it's all snatched away at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and put Remus Lupin in the God tier. Ooh, Molly Weasley! God tier! How many people can say that they stared down Bellatrix Lestrange and killed her? Ah, Molly. She was the life and soul of the Weasley family. They had very little. They were poor. They didn't have a lot to give, and they gave everything they could to Harry, to this poor little boy who was being abused by his aunt and uncle and had been so deprived of love. They just gave all to him. So that is a very easy God tier for Molly Weasley. Who do we have? Oh, Mad-Eye Moody. Look, I love Mad-Eye, but he's not one of my absolute favorite characters. I don't want to put him in the average tier because he's above average, but he's not one of my favorites, so it's a bit tricky. I think I'm gonna put him in the great tier. Ooh, we have Wormtail. The Marauders didn't have to be friends with him. They were friends with him and they included him and they let him be a part of their lives, and I'm not defending the Marauders' behavior on some occasions when they were quite honestly bullies and horrible to other people like Severus Snape, but we'll get to that another day. They gave everything they could to Wormtail. They gave him their friendship. He was a part of the squad and he betrayed them so utterly, and then even after their deaths continued to betray them by hurting their son and then allowing Sirius Black to go to Azkaban on behalf of the crimes he had committed. That guy goes straight into the death category. Fry him. Woo! Fred and The troublemakers of the century. What these two boys did managed to overrun anything the four Marauders could have come up with. Fred and George, my boys, my mischief makers, they are going straight up to the god tier. He had to come around at some point, didn't he? Lord Voldemort! The absolute crap bag of the century, and also the most idiotic character ever written. He was 71 when Harry killed him. Dumbledore, when he died via murder, so not of natural causes, was well over 100, closer to 200. His whole goal was to achieve immortality, eternal life. He never wanted to die. And he died at what would be considered for a wizard a very young age. If he had just not been an absolute douchebag, he would have gotten that really long life that he wanted. So not only is he an idiot, but he's a dead idiot. Which is why he can go right into the death category because, well, he's already there. Who are you? Who are you? Ooh, now we get onto it. Ron, a lovely gingy boy. It is my understanding that there are a lot of people who hate Ron. I don't relate. I understand. I don't understand. I love him. With Ron, we have this little boy who had very, very little to give. He arrived on the train and he had all the food that he had just in that little wrapped up thing, and he offered it to Harry. And while yes, I'm not saying he doesn't have his flaws, he does. Any good character does have some flaws. He was ultimately a really good person. So he can go right up to the god tier. I think he's earned it. After everything they've been through in Deathly Hallows especially, I think they've earned it. Ooh. Our heartthrob, Draco Malfoy. I love how Draco redeemed himself throughout the last book, through helping him in Malfoy Manor, through not identifying him, even though he knew that it was Harry. This is a tough one. My own love for him would put him in the great category, but he's not a good guy. I think I have to put him in the average category. Who do we have here? Oh, my favorite girl, Luna Lovegood. She's kind to everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done. She wants you to know that you're a good person and that she loves you. I cannot fault anything. Like Dumbledore says, kindness is a trait that people never fail to undervalue, and that's something that Luna has a whole lot of. So little Luna Lovegood is the god of the god tier. Who do we have here? Minerva McGonagall. I love Minerva. Can you imagine the shock that she must have felt when Ron's kids and Harry's kids all arrived and she had another James Potter to deal with? I'm kind of on the fence about putting her in the god tier or the not quite god tier, but I think I'm gonna put her into the god tier. It's getting a bit crowded up there, I think. I'll let you guys see it first. Hopefully it's not upside down. Who is it? Dobby! I don't understand why there are so many people who actively hate Dobby. Why? Why would you hate Dobby? And yes, he might maim or seriously injure you, but he will absolutely do it for a good reason. And I just know that my sister is going to comment on this video and say Dobby is a dead elf. However, I'm not going to put him in the god tier. I'm going to put him in the not quite god tier. So I have a feeling, yeah, old Bellatrix Lestrange. There she is, the bitch. Bellatrix Lestrange is the worst of the worst. She is absolutely awful and I hate her guts and I wish she would die. And I celebrated when she did die. Good old Molly Weasley sorted her out for us. I'm gonna stick her right into the death category. Ooh, Albus Dumbledore. The thing about Dumbledore, he is such a complex character. There are so many layers to Dumbledore and the way his mind works. He could be thought of as having a lot of Slytherin qualities. He is very manipulative. Every time he uses his manipulative powers, it's for good. He never goes out seeking to cause someone harm. But that doesn't mean he isn't willing to cause someone harm if it meets his objectives. I could go on for such a long time about Albus Dumbledore and dissecting the life of Albus Dumbledore. I could write a book, The Life and Lives of Albus Dumbledore. I'm not gonna do that right now. If you guys want to see that, please let me know in the comments below. I do love Dumbledore as complex as he is, that's what makes him so interesting to me. He is gonna go right into the God tier. Yeah, I don't regret that at all. It's my book boyfriend. Sirius Black was my book boyfriend all through high school. He's so broody and tortured and brilliant and snarky and fun, and I love him. No one's gonna be surprised at this one, but of course I have to put my book boyfriend in the God tier. Gildaroy Lockhart, the pompous little bitch. He sucks. He's a horrible person. Can you think of all the lives he actually destroyed by wiping people's memories and taking their lives from them? What? Gilderoy Lockhart goes right into bad. He's not worthy of death, I'd say, but he's worthy of Azkaban. Oh, it's Deloras Umbridge. We wanted her dead more than Voldemort. She was the true villain of the Harry Potter series. Everyone, and I don't care who you are, hates Umbridge. Her only redeeming quality in my eyes is that she likes cats. I like cats too, but that's not enough for me to want to be her friend. Well, little Luna Lovegood might be the goddess of the God tier. She is gonna be the devil of the death tier. Who do we have here? Ooh, the brightest witch of her age, Hermione Granger. Again, like Dobby, there seems to be a community of people who just hate Hermione. I don't understand it. Yes, she's a know-it-all, but she does know it all, so why shouldn't she show that off? God tier for Hermione Granger. She's just wonderful. We have 3 names left. I've forgotten who they are, but one of them is definitely Harry. Ooh, Snape, Seamus Snape. Here's another one who's worth a really long video. He is an exceptionally complex character. You either love him or you hate him. You get those people who say that he just redeemed every bad thing that he'd done in the last book by giving his life. And while I do believe that that was a fantastic redemption arc for him, I don't believe that he redeemed every bad thing that he had done. He bullied children who couldn't stand up to him because they were his students. And the fact that when Neville Longbottom saw his boggart and it was Professor Snape, he was that terrified of Snape. It was the most terrifying thing in his life, more so than Bellatrix Lestrange, who had tortured his parents. That's gotta say something about the psychological damage that he caused Neville. And I tell you now, the only reason he hated Neville as much as he did was because Neville could have been the chosen one. And if he had been the chosen one, Lily would still have been alive. I could really go on about Snape, but for now, we're just gonna go ahead and put him in... This is actually really hard. I don't know how to categorize these people. It's hard to take characters who are so complex and have so many layers and put them into one single category. Overall, while he has his flaws and he's not necessarily a very nice person, he's an extremely well-written character. And for that reason, I'm gonna put him into great. Neville Longbottom. Of course, Harry's gonna be the last one. Let's talk for a second about that glow up. Wow. He had everything going for him that could have made him the chosen one. It was only that Voldemort chose Harry. No one's gonna be surprised that Neville Longbottom gets to go and get cozy in the God tier. The God tier is really, really full, but you know what? I love these characters, so I'm not sorry. And then of course the last one is Harry Potter. Yes, he is gormless and has no idea what's going on around him. Yes, he just sometimes just doesn't get it. He went through an immense amount of trauma, and not just in the books. In the years before that, in the 11 years that it took for him to get to Hogwarts, he was living in an extremely abusive home. He never let any of this stuff get the better of him. Despite having a Horcrux in his body, he never let it make him a bad person. Of course, Harry has to go to the God tier. Let me know if you disagree with any of these categories. I would love to hear your opinions. And also, if you hated any of the characters I love, I would like to know why. I don't want to argue with you, but I would like to know your perspective. If you would like more in-depth videos about particular characters, please comment that in the thingy-majig below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I make videos weekly here, And if you want notifications of when those videos come up, just hit the little bell icon and you should get something in your inbox. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Erin. I'll see you again next time.